nobody that's blatantly disrespectful to me. And I feel like that's more than fair, right? But my husband's on some it's our kid type shit, which I agree, it is our kid. But my family don't disrespect him. So I'm just curious, like, how do you navigate that? Do you still send the kids over there? What happens if they violate you or say something disrespectful about you in front of your kid? Or they do something to affect your authority when it comes to your kid, or say things to like dismiss your authority. How do you navigate this? I really need y'all advice on something, or y'all opinion on something. To all my followers who are married or have kids or whatever,
Ooh, what it do,
how
everyday people?
do y'all deal with disrespectful in-laws in the sense of your kids? Because I feel like I don't want my kids around nobody that's blatantly disrespectful to me. And I feel like that's more than fair.
Smell like rum.
But my husband's on some it's our kid type shit, which I agree, it is our kid. Quick. But my family don't disrespect him.
Yep.
So I'm just curious, like, how do you navigate that? Do you still send the kids over there? What happens if they...
Welcome in. We are about to get lit and live, okay? Lit and live. So I got a wonderful live for you guys tonight. Story time as usual, you know what I'm saying? Story time as usual. As y'all can see by the title, it's getting crazy up in here. Welcome everybody. Welcome everyday people. We keep it lit. Thank y'all for keeping it lit in the comment section at all times. Okay. All right. We got the story time, and then I also got a special phone call coming in this after the live, and I want y'all to check it out because y'all gonna want to hear this. And if you are everyday people who watch every day, today we got somebody who calling in from one of our stories, and I want to give this person a special welcome and a special shout out because this person deserves it. Okay, so we're gonna get to that. It's a special guest, and I really want to get to this person because they're a content creator, okay, and they going up in this world, and they do things. Shout out to everybody pulling up, man. Let's get into it, man. We deep up in this thing, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, man. Let me know y'all up in this thing, man. I appreciate y'all. So without further ado, let's get into this story time because I know some of y'all gonna be pulling up in here. Y'all can watch the replay, but let's get into it.
Still send the kids over there. How I ended up married to a DL man, part 1. Now, before I get into the story, I just want to say the purpose of the story is in no way, shape, or form to paint myself as a victim, because there are going to be many moments in the story where I was a goofy, and it's going to be obvious that I was a goofy and delusional. So before I get into the story, I'm going to give you a little history so you can keep up with the story currently, because there are going to be little intricate details that require me to tell the past history so you can understand the present. First off, like many people in the world, I come from a broken home. I always say I had 2 parents that had addictions. My mom, after giving birth to me, had serious postpartum depression, and it was the 80s. So no one really knew what that was. She also had an abusive partner, my father, and it was the crack era, the 80s. So that spawned into a crack addiction, which turned into bipolar depression and schizophrenia. And because of all of those things, she abandoned me when I was between 1 and 2. My dad had a poom poom addiction. He put poom poom above all else up until the day he died, which was in 2021. Before me, before anything, poom poom was always his number 1 priority. Now, my dad had a few dollars. He owned a limousine company when I was coming up, so poverty was never really the issue. But he was a newly unexpected single father. So with this small child, 1 year old, 2 years old, and was searching for a mother for me. He found a woman, his wife, who pretended that she was into him for his money, and pretended she was into his child until she got pregnant, and then she started mistreating me. Now, my father put Poom Poom above all else, right? Above all else. So he stayed with the woman despite this and tried to maneuver despite knowing how I was being treated. Most of everyone that witnessed the abusive behaviors were mortified, including her family, certain members of her family. There was one particular member of her family that was mortified. Obviously, I had been in her family since I was 3 years old. So they had seen me as a small child, and she saw the behavior, was mortified, and took me under her wing. We're going to call her Natalie. Natalie, around the time that I was 13 years old, discovered what was going on and started taking me away for holidays and different events just for me to get some reprieve from the abusive environment that I was in. And Natalie had a son. Now, at this time, I was about 13. Natalie's son was maybe 10, 11, so wasn't paying this little boy no mind. But from the time I started coming around regularly, this boy always had a crush on me. I absolutely never took him seriously and never thought that I would, but life comes at you fast. And fast forward to today, I'm married to Natalie's son, and I uncover in our marriage that he is full-blown DL and cheating on me with men. Come back for part 2. How I ended up married to a DL man, part 2. So in my previous video, I talked about the abuse that I experienced from my father's wife. It wasn't really physical abuse as much as it was mental. So for instance, from the age I was 7 years old, so my dad and his wife ended up having 3 other children, and we all lived in the house together. And from the age of 7, I was responsible for cleaning up the dishes in the kitchen after everyone in the house. They bought a house where there was one room downstairs and all the other bedrooms was upstairs in the house. My room was the room downstairs, so I was segregated from everyone. I wasn't allowed in the kitchen unless it was to clean it. So every day my father wouldn't get home from work till late, and I wasn't allowed to eat until he got home from work. And if he got home from work extremely late, I just didn't eat. And these type of things started when I was about 7. They would leave the house, go on outings. From the age I was 7, leave me in the house by myself. We lived in a house in the woods in Pennsylvania. So yeah, these were the things that I was experiencing from 7 up until about 13. And this is important because of this, I guess I didn't really understand when people were treating me poorly because I kind of got used to those type of things. So anyways, Natalie comes to visit one day. She sees this and she's freaked out. She is my dad's wife's cousin. We're going to call her Jill. She's my dad's wife's cousin. And she's freaked out. She's telling her about herself, telling my dad about himself, how could y'all do this, whatever. From the time that I'm 13 years old, she starts picking me up from the house and taking me on outings. And my dad was happy about it because he was just glad to have me out of the house because his only concern was keeping his wife at the time happy. So about 3 or 4 times, she would pick me up, take me to her house, where it was a lot more comfortable because I had a lot more freedom in terms of being a normal person, walking around a house, being around people, interacting with people. She would take me on outings with her to the mall, to hang out with other kids in her family, different things. And it was really good. It was really nice, really great. And I lived in the Poconos and she lived in Long Island. So she would drive an hour and change to come get me and do this just because she felt so bad because of how I was being treated. She had a son, and from the age of when I was 13 and he was about 11, he had a crush on me. But I never took him seriously because when you're a kid, 13 and 11 is I'm light years ahead of you. I'm so advanced. I'm already a teenager. Also, did I say she picked me up 3 or 4 times? I meant 3 or 4 times a year from the ages of 13 to 15. I ended up moving in with my best friend's family when I was 13. And I stayed there for 2 years and she was picking me up from there. So I ended up developing being really close with her. And yeah, she had a son. He had a crush on me. I looked at him like a little boy, never paid him no mind. I looked at him like a joke. But I always respected and appreciated what she did to me. Fast forward to adulthood, I ended up joining the military, but when I got out of the military, I would still try to show my gratitude for the things that she did. Anything that she invited me to, I would come. Anytime that she was having something, I would show up. We would spend hours on the phone together. I would tell her about things that I was experiencing, things in my life. And we had an all-around closeness. I would call it a mother-daughter relationship. Now, during this time, obviously we're both adults because I fast forward to adulthood because we're here now. let's say 20s. So her son didn't live in her house. But whenever I did, or didn't live with her, but whenever I did see him, we would fight like cats and dogs. I'm talking about it would be war. Me and this boy, once we got to adulthood, could never get along. Like, I'm talking bad. It would like nearly come to blows almost every time. Like, I couldn't stand him because I just felt like he had a miserable personality. Like, he was always like so insecure about everything. Anything would set this guy off, even then. I later found out that he had a serious cocaine addiction. So that was that. But again, mine and her relationship didn't change. We were close for years and years and years and years. Extremely close. Close. I was closer to her, I would say. No, this is a fact. I was closer to her than her own children. Biologically. Now, during this time, I'm building my career. I'm building my life. I ended up in real estate, buying houses, buying properties. I'm dating. But for whatever reason, I'm not meeting the type of man that I would like to, okay? Come back for part 3, y'all. I promise y'all I'm going to get to it. This is a story. We about to get into the juicy part, but come back for part 3. How I ended up married to a DL man, part 3. So I gave the background of the story, so now we can start getting into the meat and potatoes of the shit, okay? So I was dating and I wasn't necessarily coming across the type of relationship that I wanted. So now at this point, I'm 36. I had my eggs frozen twice just in case. I had never attempted to get pregnant, although I know I could, because I was just waiting to do things the quote unquote right way, to be married the way they say you should do it, married and have kids. But I started to give up on the idea and decided that maybe it just wasn't going to happen for me. So, we all got that little biological clock. So I was like, well, maybe I should start scouting for someone that I trust, that I respect, that I have a prior relationship with, or that I'm cool with, to potentially have a child with. So I'm talking to Natalie, and she's like talking about people in her family because she wants to have a biological connection to me. Because even though we're very, very close biologically, we don't have any blood relatives. So I'm like, you know what? Like, that would be dope. Like, so she's listing out people and we're joking about it or whatever. We get to her son. Neither one of us, both of us are like, hell no. When we get to him, it's just like, absolutely not. We laugh over it. Don't even think twice about it. At this time, he's living in Miami. We just gonna call him BB for a Bussy Bandit. So at this time, BB is living in Miami. Now, over the years prior to him living in Miami, I had definitely seen him quite a few times over the years. It usually turned into a war at some point because, like I said, oil and vinegar, but I had seen him over the years. We had gone out to eat quite a few times, me, his mom, whatever, and other family members. But there's one particular time his mom invites me out to eat with him and his best friend. Now, prior to this, he had girlfriends that I knew about that he had been with he had a girlfriend that he had been with for a couple years, and I never thought anything of him in terms of like sexuality, But there was a best friend who he was always with, who he wanted his mom to meet, and she invited me to come along. But she's like talking to me, telling me how invested this guy is to meet her, and like how BB is telling him that he'll be so like disappointed if he doesn't get a chance to meet her. And I think this is weird. But I'm like, people have different friendships, whatever. Maybe he just really wants to meet his best friend's mom. Also, the guy has BB on payroll for his company, but BB doesn't work. So I thought that was strange. And they were like traveling together and doing different things. But again, there's going to be many times in this conversation where I'm a goofy. So just keep up. We're going to call the best friend Chuck. So Chuck and BB show up to dinner with us, and Chuck is clearly rainbow. He's clearly part of the LGBTQ community. He also seems very intent on making a good impression on BB's mom, Natalie. So while this is happening, me and Natalie are at the table texting, and I kind of tell her, I think this dude might be, rainbow. And she's like, I know, OMG. We're texting at the table with him. Like, she's like, OMG, my son is rainbow. But again, we're just talking. There's no confirmation. But it's just very, very strange behavior at this time. We get in the car, we're talking about it, we're like kind of like in shock trying to process what we just experienced. They invite us out again the next day we go out. Now on this particular day, things seem a lot less, tambourine. So I'm like, I kind of like, it's still in the back of my head, but I'm like, who knows? Like maybe. Y'all, it's so many details to the story. Like and comment.
All these red flags. And she still married this fool. God damn it. I mean, goddamn. She done told us about 15 different times how her mama was on crack, her daddy left her, and how this woman used to pick her up 4 times a year. And we still don't know how she married this nigga. But we all know he gay. But she ain't even married to him and we know he gay. Let's continue.
Because I was just... All right, so being that I'm in the house pregnant by said DL husband, I guess I could give y'all part 4 because I ain't doing shit else. My life. So after the dinner with Chuck and BB, we, like, everyone in his family is kind of like, in his immediate family is kind of like suspicious because now there are certain red flags like, how are you, like, why are you on this guy's payroll? Like, what's going on? Why is this guy, certain things just aren't added up. There's suspicions, but like, again, nothing can be proven. But now everything being said and done is being analyzed because the behavior, like what's going on. Like one time we were having a conversation and he told us with the girlfriend he was with for 2 years, he never had an explosion. But he said he always had an explosion with this big girl he used to smash. So then we were like, maybe he just has a big girl thing. He told one of his family members like that Chuck was like would die without him one time, and the family member was like, what? Like another time he was on vacation with Chuck somewhere, like they went out of the country somewhere, and he FaceTimed, but someone said they only saw one bed in the hotel room they were in. Again, now all of this is suspicious behavior, but this is not definitive anything. This is just like we don't know if we're being like
that ain't a red flag. That's
at this point. Also, keep in mind
that's a red bed sheet.
We don't know if maybe because the guy kind of seems like a sad soul, so we kind of felt like he was just using the guy, which is fucked up, using the guy for his resources because the guy seemed to be well off. I'm telling Natalie, like, maybe he's like rainbow for pay. Y'all know the term. So her and him end up getting to an argument about something else, and she like cusses his ass out and says, that's why you rainbow for pay, and blocks him, and they ended up not talking for a while. So he moves to Miami, cleans himself up, cleans up his addiction, and ends up trying to start getting his life back on track. He starts trying to get into the fire department for a job, and he's moving forward with the process. But he has an open court case in Virginia that he has to deal with. So his family's helping him to go to Virginia to deal with this court case. So his mom invites me to this event. Her niece is graduating from college, and she invites me to the graduation party. And unbeknownst to me, he's going to be there. He's there. So our interaction is very, very different than it normally is. Like, we actually kind of cool, which is unusual for us. But I find out later that it's because he had ended up cleaning up. Like, he was no longer an addict at that point, on cocaine anyway. So we like cool, we kikiing or whatever, like laughing, chopping it up or whatever. At the party, I brought my puppy there. He's like watching my puppy for me the whole time. Just on some cool shit. There's an older man there that tries to talk to me. Historically, since we were kids, anybody that tries to talk, again, this man has had a crush on me since we were children. Any person that has tried to talk to me, he has beef with. So I don't even remember how this beef like escalated, but eventually they ended up having words, and BB whoops this man's ass. His finger is damaged. I end up taking him to the hospital or whatever because his finger's like bent or whatever. And so like we're like chopping it up, you know? I go home from the incident, but I call him because I learned something else. I don't even remember because it was so minuscule. I called him to chop it up and say something about the fight and the altercation he had with the dude, right? And somewhere in the conversation, he just jumps out and goes, well, you know, I really want to have a family. Like, I'm really interested in having a family, like, or whatever. So I call Natalie and I'm like, yo, like, he's talking about, like, having a family and stuff. Like, what's this about? And she's like, I don't know. I just got off the phone with him. And I was like, I would not marry him, but like I would consider having a child because at this time, like I was vetting for having children anyway. So she talks to me and goes, well, he's insisting that he wants to get married and start a family with you and whatever else, and that he's going to talk to you. So I'm like, what? Talk to me? Because we're not even talking at this point, right? So I don't know where this new him came out. He's saying all the right shit. Like, you need a big, strong man to protect you. Like, he's a buff guy. He's always in the gym. You need a big, strong man to protect you. Like, you need someone to take care of you. Like, blah, blah, blah. And, like, I'm blushing because it's, like, kind of cute or whatever. Like, we flirting on the phone or whatever. Before the situation moves forward, I call her and I'm like, would it bother you if me and your son started talking? Because I respect her too much. If she told me no, I respected her too much. She told me no, I would have not talked to him. And she was like, absolutely, y'all could talk. Like, I would love that, blah, blah. So me and him start talking. The story ends with me pregnant and in jail. Like and comment for part 5. I got to give y'all all the details so y'all understand how we get there. How I ended up married to a DL man, part 5. One part that I forgot to mention, because all the details matter. Another thing, like, so before I saw him at the party, before we started talking, his mom had showed me a picture of him, and the picture looked like this. The only reason I'm saying all these details is because I want to be accountable for all of the red flags that I ignored. So, yeah, like, that was another thing. So, anyways, fast forward, and we talking, like, every night. He goes back to Miami. We're on the phone every night. Like, he can, like, he's, like, saying all the right shit. Very sweet, very thoughtful, very considerate. He's like I'm just having such a good time talking to him every night. We fall asleep every night playing, like, sharing our Apple Music songs. So, like, we're sharing our music that we listen to. And we have over 20 years of history. So we share a lot of the same, like, people that we know. So we're, like, sharing notes about things and, like, just, like, connecting over things that we have in common. And I'm, like, honestly starting to get really excited because he actually comes, despite who he is, he comes from a really good family, I would say. So I would never suspect that he was who he actually became because I didn't think that his family could produce the type of person that he is. So, like, I was really excited, like, wow, this might be a person that I could trust. And then also, being that I knew his whole family and his whole family knew me my whole life, there's a certain level of comfort there because you believe that this person, there are certain things that they won't do to you because of your history. So, like, there was a level of trust that I had for him that I never had for anyone else, not off rip. Like, especially me being so close to his mom and everything. Like, she literally called me her daughter for, like, most of my life. So, but anyways, we're talking every night. We kikiing on the phone, like, just having a great time. And, like, one day it comes up that, like, and I could tell he's hesitant to mention this. I don't even know how it came up, but apparently he was, like, months behind on his rent. He was about to get evicted. So I own my own house here in Jersey. I'm like, well, look, why don't you come here? I can help you out, help you get back on your feet. Like I said, there are going to be many times in this story where I'm a goofy, okay? I'm taking accountability. So he's acting hesitant, but, like, I kind of know because I know his family that his mom's family don't really want him at their house because of past instances, and his dad's family don't really want him at their house because of past instances. All of these, again, red flags, but I'm like, oh, nah, you're so great. We've been talking every night. Come on over. I give him like $1,000 to make the move, like to give something to his landlord, clean out his apartment and come. Again, a goofy. And he comes. And at this point, the only people that know that we're dating is his mom, because we kind of like didn't want for his family to know. At the time, he was dealing with that court case in Virginia, and his grandmother, who is kind of well off, was the one that was paying for it. And we felt like she may not approve of our relationship, so we were kind of keeping it wrapped. So because she was paying for his attorneys and stuff, we thought. So he comes here, and things are really cute at first, like it's fun or whatever. And then the mask starts to slip. Every other day, every 5 seconds, this nigga is getting an attitude for nothing. Like, I'm talking about, like, snapping for no reason. And then, like, also, it kind of seems like he's not, like, he seems happy, but, like, something's off.
Back on the cocaine.
He's also a heavy smoker. So, like, usually he would smoke and he would, like, be cool, but, like, at any given moment, this dude could have, like, a mood swing, and, like, we're at it. So I'm, like, telling his mom, like, I don't know if I can handle this, because now I'm starting to feel like I bit off a little bit more than I can chew. So I'm like, I don't know if I can handle this. like he has these attitudes, and she's like, oh God, like she's concerned because she can hear in my voice, like I'm whispering on the phone with her in my house, and she's like, why are you whispering? She's like, oh no, like he has to go, like you're not, I don't care if that's my son, like you're not gonna be with somebody that's making you uncomfortable in your house, blah 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 blah. Now remember the history that I told you I have with the drug addicted mother and the past that I have. So like I'm trying to be patient because I'm like, well, you know, like I'm concerned about his sobriety. Like I'm very proud of him because he made the step to get off drugs or whatever. And like, I don't want to like turn my back on him and he goes back to that. Like he's getting his life together and I want to be here to support him. So like we go through it, we deal with it, whatever. But I'm still very, very suspicious though, because again, I'm somewhat of a seasoned woman. So typically when a man face like starts to slip, like his mask starts to slip and all of a sudden he starts giving you attitude, usually it's another bitch in the picture. Like another bitch came in the picture and he mad he with you, right? Mind you, we like weeks into this thing and this starts happening. So I'm like, what the hell? So one night he's sleep in bed and like I just pick up his phone while he's asleep and I put his birthday in and that shit opens. So I'm looking through it and I'm looking through his messages, but I'm nervous because dude is literally laying right next to me. So like I'm looking and then I put the phone down, put the phone down because I'm scared he's gonna wake up. But finally I decide to get up and leave the room. I'm like tiptoeing out of the room with his phone. I do a quick look, make sure I'm not gone for too long, and I happen to I'm like, if there's anything, it's going to be in the recently deleted. I go into the recently deleted, and there's two like text message lanes, and there are men's names with like purple heart next to them. One is like Alejandro with a purple heart next to it. The other is Ferris with a purple heart next to it. How I ended up married to a DL man, part 6. So I skipped the part before I went through the phone.
Where
we
did
had
you
already
get
started
married?
talking about like marriage. Like I didn't want to be married because at this point I was okay. Like I just kind of was ready to have a child, but he was like pushing for marriage. Like, no, I want to do this the right way. Like if we whatever, like we are going to have a child, whatever. Like I want to have a family. Like I want to have my wife and I want to have my child and I want to do this the right way. And he was talking about like how he also came from a broken home, such and such, whatever. So I was like, yeah, you're right. Like I came from a broken home. You came from a broken home. And like, again, I felt very safe with him where I shouldn't have because I know his family so well. So we had already started about like eloping and getting married. Then I go through the phone and I see the text threads with Alejandro, purple heart, Ferris, purple heart. Okay. Now I click on the text threads and like Alejandro is sending him like pictures of his body. Like, and he's like, oh, do you have any recents? But BB never responds. Right. And I don't even remember what Ferris was saying, but BB never really responded to him either. He just kind of like deleted the messages or whatever. So I'm thinking about how we went to dinner with Chuck or whatever else, but I'm like, damn, like honestly, because my mother again was a drug addict, so I've seen my mother do a lot of things that like I know she wouldn't do if she was on drugs. And again, I'm trying to be sensitive and thoughtful, so I'm like, if he did do things that he shouldn't have for money or whatever, like I'm just gonna look past it because I feel like he's a genuinely good person and he just needs support. A goofy, y'all. So anyway, but I don't tell him that I went through the phone and I saw this. Honestly, not because I didn't want to embarrass him, but because he deleted it, I kind of felt like, and because I didn't see that much, I didn't have enough time to like really do a deep dive. I kind of wanted to wait, give it time and see if I uncovered anything else later. Because if I told him now you're really going to go ahead and start hiding shit, right? So I didn't say anything to him about it. But I did ask him about the situation with Chuck. So the next day, like, I'm sitting there, I'm very, very embarrassed, and I'm like, I'm uncomfortable, but I'm like, hey, you know, I was just curious about something. And he's like, what? I'm like, you know, have you ever done anything with a guy? Like, were you and Chuck ever, like, doing things? And he's like, you could see, like, the shame on his face. And I instantly feel bad because, like, I'm mortified because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm probably bringing up like repressed memories or whatever. And he's like, honestly, he was like, I did use him for money. He was like, but I never like did anything with him for real. He was like, the only thing I did, and I'm disgusted by it, like I wanted to throw up, and I was so grossed out by it, is like one time, like he begged me and pleaded with me, and I needed money, and he asked me if he could like go down on me, and I let him do it for like a few seconds or whatever. So, but like you could see the shame in his face, and then after he said it, he like ran in the room and shut the door behind him, and he like put his face in the pillow, and like he was like, why would you bring this up, blah blah blah. So I feel bad. So now I'm like, honestly, we never have to talk about this again, because I genuinely feel for him, you know. Goofy. So like I'm like, you know what, I don't care about your past, like we can move forward. I will never bring that up again, because at this point, even though like he's not a perfect person, I understand he's not a fully good person, and I'm trying to be patient or whatever, right? So we move forward. We decide on a date to get married, right? So we elope and we get married shortly after, maybe like a month and a half after he moves in here. Maybe, I don't even know if it was even that long. Then I start finding empty liquor bottles all over the house. Like, so I discover he's replaced the drug addiction with alcohol. So now I'm like spooked. And I'm like wondering, is this where the mood swings is coming from? Like, I don't know what to think, but now we're married, right? So finally, like maybe like a month and a half later, I don't know, something just told me to look in the phone again. Okay. So I look in the phone, and like now I do more of a deep dive. I don't have time. Again, he's asleep this time, but like now I've learned his sleeping pattern, so I know he's a little bit of a hard sleeper and I have more time. So I take the phone out and I go in the living room and I'm really looking through. But like, again, I don't want to be going with the phone for too long. I'm seeing text threads of like him professing his like to some person named somebody named James, like professing his undying love in paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs to this person. I'm seeing him conversing with the other guy, Ferris. And like, I'm seeing him like, I see a video of him at my house on FaceTime with the gentleman Ferris, while Ferris is naked, showing his pussy, and he's looking at him intensely in the camera, and he's screen recording it. And I am shook, honey, like completely shook. I'm in shock. I can't believe what I saw. And I instantly wake him up. Like at this point, like I'm like, get up. I went through your phone. Get up. Like I've seen what's in there. Get up. And I'm asking him like, are you Rainbow? And he's like, what? You went through my phone? Because he's disoriented because I just woke him up. I'm like, are you Rainbow? I went through your phone. He's like, no, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? So he like jumps up, he starts pacing back and forth. I'm like, well, who are these people? And I'm showing him like the messages I see between James and Ferris. He's like, oh, there are nobody. I was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I see your messages. I see this, that, and the third. And he's like, you know, I'm not gonna lie. Old habits die hard. I'm used to getting money from these guys. Like I lead them on. I don't do anything with them. I just lead them on to get money from them, and then I cut them off, which is a fucked up thing to do. But I'm like, what do you mean you lead them on? He's like, I pretend that I like them, get money out of them, and then ghost them. So I'm like, what can this be? But I remember, we're going to get back to Chuck. So I had a conversation with his mom about Chuck. So him and Chuck had a falling out where Chuck told his mom that he used him and like led him on and misled him. So I remember that conversation, and I'm like, maybe he's telling the truth. But then something's just not right in this situation. Like something, because I'm talking about professing his like paragraphs, pouring his heart out to this one dude, James. So then I'm like, call the numbers. So he looks panicked. I'm like, call the numbers or you have to leave right now. So he calls the numbers, but I didn't know at the time that he had the people blocked. So it's the middle of the night. He was banking on the person not answering and being like, well, they didn't answer. And then we just go on about our lives. And at this point, we're married. So he calls them both. Neither one of them answers. But James is a motherfucker. James calls back from another number. So I go, hand me the phone. He's like, I think he's so shook he doesn't even know what to do. He hands me the phone, right? So I'm like, hey, you know, this is his wife. Like, I'm being nice because I don't have nothing against these people, you know, but I want to know what happened. So I'm like, you know, I'm here with BB. Like, what is the situation with you and him? Like, how do you guys know each other? And the guy's like, what? He was married that whole time? I was like, no, he wasn't married the whole time. We're newlyweds, but what is your relationship with him? James says, we were sleeping together. What? BB interjects like, we never slept together. I only slept at your house a couple times because I fell asleep on the couch. At this point, I know this Negro's playing in my face. So I'm like, shut up, okay? James is apologetic. Like, I'm so sorry you're going through this. Like, because James had just texted him like a couple days before. That's how I saw that the text thread with James. Like, that's how I even saw it. So he's like apologizing. I'm like, it's not your fault. He's the liar. So now, like I said, I'm in shock, like completely shocked. Like I'm trying to figure out how I ended up here. I need a break. Like and comment for part 7.
Ooh.
Okay, y'all, I had to take a break. So how I married a DL man, part 7. So I hang up with James and I'm sitting there in shock, right? And I'm just thinking about how much I put myself out there for this motherfucker. Like when he showed up here with a raggedy suitcase full of a bunch of nonsense. Every pair of sneakers, he had like 4 pairs of sneakers. Every pair of sneakers was leaning. I mean, he had about, like, the teeth were in terrible shape. It looked like he hadn't had a cleaning since he was born. And I'm not even saying this to play, dude. I'm telling you what it is so you can understand my pain. Because obviously this is somebody that I believe that I love and somebody that I married. So it's not in any way to like try to play him. This is the truth. He didn't have a coat. Winter was coming. So I spent my cash, got him a dentist appointment, pushed him to get a job. The job wasn't that he interviewed for that wanted to hire him, wasn't calling him back. Pushed him to harass them till they gave him a start date. Revamped his shoes, like he loves Yeezys. Started helping him to revamp his Yeezys. Try to get him like some decent clothing. His birthday came, like I hooked him up for his birthday. Like, mind you, how he sold me in this marriage was like, I have every intention to be a great husband. Like, in my previous relationship, I destroyed that relationship. Like, I know better than to make any mistakes ever again. Like, I'm gonna take care of my babies and you included, because you're my baby too. I'm like toting him back and forth to these appointments. He didn't have a car when he got here, so he's driving my Mercedes around for whatever he needs.
You like you was
and I realized despite me knowing his family for so long or whatever, I have no idea who this person is. So I'm instantly like, I go into shock. I'm asking him like, do you have Grindr? How are you meeting people here in this area? He's like, no, I don't have Grindr or whatever, because the Ferris guy whose bussy he was staring at in my house, is in Jersey. I'm like, how did you meet this person? He's like, I knew him from before. Like, I don't have Grindr. So I'm like, give me your phone. He's objecting. He's like, no. I'm like, give me the phone. I swear to God, like, you have to leave. Either give me the phone or you gotta go. And I'm telling everyone. So he's like, fine. He gives me his phone. So I'm looking through. I'm seeing all types of shit in this phone. I'm seeing paragraphs of text. I'm seeing text messages. I'm seeing all types of stuff. And I'm like, my mind can't even process it. I stop looking and I walk off. I'm hysterical. I'm crying. Like, I'm like broken because I can't. It's not even, honestly, it ain't even about the gay part for me. It's the fact that some of this stuff was being done in my crib. Like, so his reasoning is, well, it's my past. It's my past. Like, it's things that I did before you, whatever. But it's videos of you doing this shit in my house. So, like, I'm distraught. I can't even think straight. So I think he goes to work. I'm not sure what happens, but somehow, like, I end up on the phone with his mom. And I'm telling her what I saw. And she's like, so when I first saw the text messages of Alejandro or whatever, and the other guy, she was like, I think he's like, whatever, like, I think he's rainbow. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't even care if he was like, you know, rainbow for pay before, like as long as he doesn't, because now I'm like, she don't know we married at this point, so I'm already like trying to rationalize it in my head, right? I'm trying to rationalize certain stuff. So I'm like, if he was that before or whatever, like, whatever. So I want to say he goes to work, he's working at this time, and so he's like, babe, I don't want to lose you. Like, I fucked up. I'm sorry, whatever. Like, can we work this out? Whatever. I'm so in shock, and we're married. Like, that's the part that I couldn't get my head away from. Like, we're married. He's like, we can do therapy. Like, obviously there are some things I need to deal with. We can do therapy, whatever. So I have my iPad here. And I'm like, the only way I would even consider this, you have to log into your Apple ID from your iCloud from my iPad, and I need to be able to monitor. I need to be able to really look in here and see what, because I don't trust you. I don't know who you are. So he logs into the iPad, and I start looking once I think he goes to work or something. I see videos with full penetration. I see videos of him looking at the same dude Ferris's pussy, a different video while he's you know. I see videos of him on top of a guy doing whatever to him, and he's like, do you want me to stop? And the guy's like, yes, sir. Or no, I'm sorry, no, sir. In the videos of full penetration, I see size 15. I like, we're not talking about the dolls. We're not talking about transgenders. Like, he's full-blown interacting with full-blown Chicago Bears linebackers. Like, it's a big white man, a low cut, size 15 feet in the air, playing with himself, a full beard, and he's going to town in this guy's little shooter. Then he turns this big burly linebacker man over, and he's doing what he's doing from behind, and then gets down and eats the groceries and puts his face in the camera. At this point, I'm mortified, because I'm like, you are like, what is this? Like, you're full blown rainbow. Like, mind you, I wish it was one of the dolls. I wish it was some of the dolls, but it was multiple different men, and every one of them looked like a man. Like, nobody was trans. Everyone was a full blown man. Not to mention, there was not a condom in sight. So I'm hysterical. I need to talk to somebody. I'm upset. I need to talk to somebody. So I talked to his mom, and I'm telling her what I saw. And like, she was kind of like, when I told her about the text messages, the first text messages, she was warning me, like, I'm telling you, like, at that point, you need to open your eyes. He's full blown. Like, she's telling me, she's like, if you saw that, it goes further. And I'm like, no, I believe him. I'm making excuses for him. Goofy. And I'm telling her, like, she's like, put him out. I'm like, no, I'm worried about his sobriety, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know. So when I see the full blown everything, I'm telling her, she's like, I wanted you to see that because you have to open your eyes. Like, you need to get out of this. So I'm like, I'm in denial. I'm so delusional at this point, and I'm in denial. I'm like, well, maybe we can work through this. Maybe it's something maybe it's remnants from his drug addiction. He got sober, blah, blah, blah. But I realized now that, like, I was just in shock, and it was a trauma response. Like, because, like, I just couldn't wrap my head around this. Also, so another thing is, obviously, he doesn't know how phones work really well. Also him giving me access to the iCloud gave me access to all his apps. So he didn't have Grindr on his phone, but something told me just download it and see if his Apple ID has his password saved. And that bitch came up. Dude was on Grindr, laying next to me in bed in the morning, soliciting men on Grindr, asking men if they shaved, telling men he couldn't wait to put his face in their pussy. All types of stuff, like a full-blown nightmare. Like I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. And I didn't have anyone to talk to, so I was talking to his mom, because at this point, I trusted her because I knew, for one, it's your son. So you probably too embarrassed to tell anybody this about your own son anyway. And for two, I had such a close relationship with her already. Like, I felt like I could confide, and like, she's like kind of talking me through. All right, y'all, I need another break. Like and comment for part 8. All right, so How I Married a DL Man part 8. Ooh. I'm trying to wrap this up, but
y'all still here?
Shit. So after all that happens, I'm asking him straight up questions. I'm asking him a bunch of questions. Are you rainbow? Dude is telling me no. I've seen you full blown inserting yourself into another man. So, but he's saying no. And he keeps just saying, like, that was my past, that was my past. Meanwhile, there are numerous interactions of him interacting with people while he's married to me. As a matter of fact, one of the interactions, when he first got here, I didn't work for about a month and a half. The first day I went to work, he texts Ferris and asked Ferris if they could hang out. Ferris told him, oh, I don't have a car, so you're going to have to send me an Uber. He's like, no, I'll come get you. BB don't have no car. So at that day, I took the train because I was working in Manhattan. So whose car were you going to come get him in? Ferris told him, oh, well, I'm celibate. And BB goes, well, it's no point of us linking right then, right? That same day, I remember that his phone went dead for hours. Like, there were a couple hours where I could not get in contact with him when I was trying to come home on the train. And I wasn't sure how I was going to get home because he had my car. But this guy's, like, in denial, trying to convince me what I saw is not what I saw. Like, he's not rainbow and this, that, and the third. And, like, the more we talk about this,
still asking the same question.
Like, rainbow his answers get. Like, he's at this point a raging rainbow person. Like, at this point. At one point, I'm questioning him, and he goes into, like, a whole, like, fit of, like, look, I don't F like a bitch, okay? And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, I don't F like, and I don't get F like, so you don't want to do an abandon? So at this point, my brain goes into full-blown, like, denial, I think. And every night I'm in this house, in the living room, balled up in the corner on the floor for, like, a week and a half, listening to, like, sad music and getting drunk for, like, probably a week and a half, 2 weeks. I'm literally starting to become an alcoholic to cope, and I'm someone that doesn't really drink. When I was in the military and I worked as a medic, they told us about the 5 stages of grief. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And I definitely went through all of them. So I'm in denial, but then the anger sets in and I start cussing this motherfucker out. Like, I'm talking to him like dirt in here. I start pushing up on his homeboys. I sent one of his homeboys a nude video of me. Because I just want to humiliate him at this point because I'm so embarrassed and so shocked. And I don't even know what to do with myself. Now, around this time, one of my homegirls invites me to go to the beach. It happens to be Natalie's birthday week, but I'm going through all of this. Like, it's like one of the worst weeks of my life. But I'm glad that my friend invited me to the beach because I needed time away to, like, just clear my head. And the beach happened to be near Natalie's house. So Natalie's like, well, when you come this way, you can drop off my birthday gift. Now, I was surprised by this because I had bought Natalie birthday gifts 2 years in a row. I bought her, like, AirPods and some other thing the year before. And I bought her, like, I gave her, like, $300 for her birthday before that. And I had never, ever received a birthday gift from Natalie in my life. So I was shocked, especially given that she knew the situation that I was currently in. So I should have told her, well, you've never given me a gift. And I'm also in a very defensive space because I'm going through what I'm going through. She ends up making a statement along the lines of, you know, like, speaking like in a third part, like someone else said that they would expect me to give her a gift because of how she's been there for me in my life or something like that. Which to me was a shocking statement to make. Because what? And for 2, because she's never given me a gift in my life. And the biggest thing is that, you know, I'm going through hell right now. So this is kind of like a selfish request when you know I'm going through hell right now. Oof. So I ended up texting him like, look, whatever you feel like I owe you for, just send me an itemized bill and I'll pay it. And I'm like, well, you've never given me a gift in my life. I'm like, you buy your biological kids gift, you've never bought me one, so how can you expect a gift from me when you've never given me that? She goes, well, I didn't raise you and you never lived with me, which is fair. It's both true. But then how can you expect a gift from me, especially when you know I'm going through one of the worst weeks of my life? So that whole thing just turned me off. Like, it was just weird, and me and her didn't talk after that. So I'm in the house going through it with her son. Now, mind you, on top of that, this dude has other issues. Like, he still is having his little mood swings, and then his hygiene is in hell. And I'm, like, experiencing some shit I had never experienced before. I'm doing laundry, and it literally looks like dude is wiping his ass with his drawers. I'm not talking about, like, skid marks. I'm talking about, like, It looks like you used your underwear as a tissue. Piss and poop on the toilet. You don't clean nothing in here, so I'm doing all of the cleaning.
A little loose.
Your feet literally stink every single day, and I learned it was because this dude was literally going for a run every day, taking a shower, and then putting the same socks that he ran 5 miles in back on. So let's count what's wrong with you. You're secretly trying to sleep with men. You have poor hygiene. You have no money, and you have a bad attitude. So, like I said, I was going through it at this time. But I'm like, you know what? Because I'm a goofy, as I keep saying. He asked me to go to therapy. I'm like, let's go to therapy. So we go to therapy. The therapist is honestly amazed by this dude. She's like, so this therapy is in September. In September, like beginning of September. I caught him in August. He's telling the therapist, oh, it was the past. The therapist is like, you were married. It was while you were married to her, and it was last month. That's not the past. That's literally this morning. He's saying in therapy, he's not rainbow. He's not rainbow. So I ask him, I'm like, let me ask you something. If someone else did all of the same things you did, would you consider them to be rainbow? And he goes, yeah. So then I go, if what you did isn't rainbow, what are the requirements to be rainbow? So he couldn't answer that. And I'm like, you want to know why you can't answer? Because if you answer, you will realize you already met them. But time heals everything. And eventually things start to feel normal, although they're not. Because, like, again, I really think what ended up happening is that I started disassociating. Like, my brain just started shutting down. Like, my brain decided, like, this is not my life. So let me just remove myself from here. And I started running on autopilot. Like and comment for part 9. How I Married a DL Man, part 9. So, at this point, like, every time I think of a question to ask him, I ask him. So I'm, like, asking him questions every 5 seconds. Like, I'm asking him, like, how many men you been with? Dude is telling me he doesn't even know how many men he been with. I'm asking him because at this point, he's the one recording all of these interactions. So obviously, you're really enjoying it because you want to remember it. That's why there are numerous recordings. And one of the recordings, as a matter of fact, he was naked walking around and a hand reaches in, grabs his meat, and he's getting ready to turn the camera, and the person says they don't want to be on camera, and he goes, I'm not going to put you on camera, but it's clearly a man. Another thing is, I ain't find one woman in that phone. Not one. I scoured. I was hoping to find a woman in that phone. So I'm like, again, like, I disassociate. I'm disoriented because I know what it is, but I'm still in denial, right? So at this point, I'm like, fuck it. Like, all I wanted was my baby anyway. Like, I'm married. Like, I'm not going to go through the process going through a divorce. And I know this man's family, even though he's not shit. Like, I know his family. I'm going to take my baby and go. So I'm like, look, we're just going to move forward with the baby plan. Y'all, just bear with me. Goofy, right? But there's one catch. Up until this point, he has not been able to have an explosion from us having relationships.
I wanted to know if they was. I really wanted to know. When I asked,
because I kept questioning, like, what is this about? He would say, oh, because I had an addiction for so long, it's hard for me to stay focused enough to finish. So that was before I caught him. That was what he was telling me. So after I catch him, I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's turned on by the idea of, like, or he felt like he needed to perform. But all of a sudden, after I catch him, he's able to do this. He's able to have a full explosion while doing this with me. So we try for 2 months, and I end up pregnant. But my mind is like mush at this point. Like, I've mind fucked myself so much. Like, I'm in here actually trying to convince myself this is a normal marriage. I'm cooking every day, doing laundry, cleaning, handling all his business affairs. Like, this is a real thing. Now, what I will say is when he was working, he was giving me majority of his paychecks, but he was spending as much as he was giving me. So, like, even though he would give me, let's say he'd give me $1,000 in a paycheck, but then he'd buy a coat that cost $2,000 and have to pay me back the rest. It would be like that. So now I found out I'm pregnant, and, like, I'm thinking I had disassociated or whatever. So I'm thinking, like, everything's fine, but everything's not fine. So when I get pregnant, about 3 weeks into it, all of a sudden my mind starts working differently, right? As a matter of fact, we're going to go back. So before I found out I was pregnant, me and Natalie hadn't spoken. So one day, like he had a court case in Virginia, right? So I had taken him to Virginia for the court case, and they ended up keeping him for 10 days. He was in jail for 10 days for this court case. So I ended up coming back to get him or whatever. He had to go back to work and just try to jump into life. Now, while he was in jail, I put money on his books, on his commissary. I made sure he had everything that he needed. I put money on individual people's numbers, like my number, his mom's number, so he could call people or whatever, and so on and so forth. But when he got out of jail, I guess things were hectic or whatever, and he didn't call his mom. I don't know what the reason is. I don't know why he wasn't calling her specifically, but he wasn't calling her. So we're laying in bed one morning, and he was like, yo, my mom just texted me, and he shows me the text. And the text is like, I'm going to wrap it up because I don't remember verbatim what it said, but it said something along the lines of, I remember one part distinctly, but it was like, pretty much like, I can't believe that you're allowing Jennifer to make you not talk to me, because at this point, me and her weren't talking. I can't believe you're allowing Jennifer to make you not talk to me. She doesn't know what it's like to have a mother because she's never had one, and so on, and she goes on from there. Now, at this point, I'm in shock because even though, like, me and her hasn't spoken, it's certain things that are a low blow. You know what I mean? Now, keep in mind, I don't realize it, but at the time, I had already entered in full-blown depression from being in this situation. So I read that. He shows it to me. I read it. And I get on my phone, and I just cuss her out. I say everything negative that I could think of about her. I drag her by her pinky toe because, like, I just can't believe unprovoked that you would say something like that. You know what I mean? So anyways, fast forward, like I said, we're pregnant. Now my brain starts working differently. Now I'm overanalyzing every single thing that's happening in here. I don't know. I guess it's like pregnancy brain, but like I'm panicking. I'm concerned. Every day I'm thinking about, like, what am I doing? Like, this man is not equipped to be a father. Like, what did I get myself into? And then a couple of things happened that was the final straw. First off, one morning I wake up and I get a phone call from my tenant at like 7 o'clock in the morning. I answer the phone. I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, do you know that your car door is open? I'm like, open? What do you mean open? She's like, not unlocked. Your car door is just opened. So I'm like, my car door is open. Dude left my car door open all night long where it rained in my car. So again, my like pregnancy brain, I'm like, bro, this is the type of nigga that will leave your baby on top of the car and pull off. This is the type of nigga that will leave your baby in the backseat all day. Like, I'm shook. I'm concerned. Mind you, he was the main one pushing for family and baby. I want my child. I want my child. He already picked out names and stuff, so he kept pushing for a baby. So now we're pregnant. And I'm having really, really bad gas, right? I'm having really, really bad gas one night. And I'm Googling, and Google's telling me all these different positions. That's not even the most
embarrassing part of this story.
Like, for gas. One of them is, like, you could have someone push your knees to your chest. So I asked him to help me push my knees to my chest. I'm pregnant with his child, mind you. He goes, ugh. Like, all right, with an attitude. And I'm like, what? And then he's like, look, I have to go to sleep soon. Now, mind you, a nigga with a fucked up attitude who can't hardly pay a bill, who you caught being DL, who you are now pregnant by for the kid that he asked you for, is now, who has bad hygiene, is now getting an attitude because you're asking him for help to deal with the pain that you're experiencing from carrying his child. That was the breaking point for me. That night, I asked him if he could sleep on the couch. I never slept in the bed with him ever again, and I asked him to leave. I reached out to his mom, asked his mom if he could come home. She said yes, and he agreed to leave. But for whatever reason, this dude kept stalling leaving. Like, he said his mom was coming to get him that night at 8 p.m. For whatever reason, she never came. He claimed that she fell asleep or something, and that's why she couldn't come, but she was going to send him a lift. Then in the morning, he claims, oh, you know, she couldn't send him a lift. She was going to come get him at 5 p.m. So I start losing it because now I feel like you're playing, and we have this huge argument. I'm saying fucked up shit to him. He's saying fucked up shit to me. We going back and forth. I'm telling him straight up, like, honestly, I don't even really want you around my kid. Like, you weird. I'm like, bro, and I would never, I don't even want my kid having your last name. Like, he's saying fucked up shit to me. He's saying I'm gonna beat every nigga ass that you bring around my kid, all types of shit. Then he proceeds to take his shirt off, and he's walking through my house with his shirt off like a tough guy, talking about, you can call any nigga here that you need to call, blah, 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 whatever. A couple of things happened in between time, but that's the only reason I'm not going to go into detail is because it's still an open court case right now. I'm not going to go past that. So dude literally has a suspended 1-year jail sentence on his head right now. He also has a prior domestic violence case on his record. So rather than call the police on him, I choose to call my family for help because I'm like, this dude isn't here while I don't know what he about to do. He's doing the most. So I call my family for help. This whole time, I'm asking him to just leave. Just leave. Just leave. He's refusing to leave. I'm like, bro, you've done enough. Just leave. He's refusing to leave. When I call my family and ask my family for help, after he did all of that shit, all that, whatever, call whatever nigga you want, taking off his shirt, looking at me aggressively, walking back and forth here, he then gets on the phone with his grandmother and goes, she called her uncle to hurt me. Changes his tone of voice and everything. And I'm like, bro, this dude is a fucking nutcase. Needless to say, an altercation happens. He calls the police on me. And I get arrested. Pregnant with his child. When the police get here, like I said, knowing he had all the shit he had going on with him, I stand tall. I don't say anything incriminating about him because I know if I do, they're going to take him for a minimum of a year. But this nigga is out there just saying all types of shit to police. And I ended up arrested. Like and comment for part 10. How I Married a DL Man part 10, and this is going to be the final part for a while because the saga is still continuing. So he's over there saying what he's saying. I get arrested. You could tell like the police don't want to take me, but they have no choice. Like at this point, based on what he said on the line, which was whatever. He said a lot of things. So they take me to the station. I ended up handcuffed to a bench for about 7 hours at the police station, pregnant. So I call my sister, I call my uncle, and I call his uncle. Because at this point, like, I already know, dude, you're not going to tell the story. Like, you're not going to tell what you did. So at least, I don't know how long I'm going to be in jail for. I'm pregnant with your kid, but I'm going to tell everything that you did. Like, so I call his uncle, I tell his uncle everything. Like, bro, I caught him cheating with men. Like, I just wanted him to leave, whatever. And his uncle's like, well, he's not coming to our house. There needs to be repercussions for him getting you arrested. Like, everywhere he goes, there's a problem, blah, 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 blah. He's saying that that he's afraid that you're going to send people after him. And I'm like, send people after him? Send people after him for what? I just wanted him to leave my house. Dude was refusing to leave my house. That was the whole issue with the situation, was that he would not leave. So anyways, so I tell his uncle whatever, and I'm telling his uncle about... Because I have everything, by the way, everything that I'm saying, I have footage of. But I'm not going to show it on here because, like I said, I wouldn't show it on here because it's obviously pornography. But the shit is still on my iPad and it's an open court case. Or it's still on my phone, not my iPad. It's on my phone, and it's an open court case. But anyway, so I'm telling his uncle, like, I have footage or whatever. And he's like, bro, send me that. Like, that's crazy. So I get off the phone with him or whatever.
Wow, and, that.
After I'm locked for 7 hours I'm locked, chained to a bench for 7 hours pregnant. They then transport me to the county jail, my county jail. They take all my clothes and shit, put me in a little, like, seems like a scrubs outfit. And I'm locked in a cell for 4 hours, freezing cold. Then they put me in a van, transport me to another county jail, where I stay for the next, I don't even know how many hours. I don't get out. So the incident, I got arrested at 9 a.m. on Thursday. I didn't get out till like 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. on Friday. So it's still an open court case. So now I'm thinking, like, whatever. I get out. I get home. My sister was at my house taking care of my dog. She tells me the police came by with some papers for me. I'm like, what? So I'm like, papers. I'm thinking it's some papers that I left at the jail because they give you like your discharge papers or whatever. But I'm like, that's weird that they would come. So his uncle had asked me to see the footage. So I let him see the footage. So like, next thing I know, his mom sends me a copy of a restraining order and was like, he's mad that you showed his uncle the footage or whatever. And like, whatever. By this time, I had not been served with any restraining order. So I didn't know nothing about no restraining order. But so I'm like, this dude got me arrested while I'm pregnant with his kid. All because he refused to leave my home after getting caught being DL. He has a fucked up attitude, poor hygiene. He just all around is not a good person. And then he came back from New York to Jersey to double down by filing a restraining order. Mind you, in the restraining order, it's all types of lies. In the restraining order, he says that I called my uncle and said, oh, Malik's wildin', handle him. Bro, this is not New Jack City. First of all, my uncle don't work for me. Like, he's not my soldier. Handle him is something crazy. Like, for one thing, I'm 37, not 57. Handle him, Malik's wild and handle him is not something someone in my, like, who says some shit like that. What the fuck are you talking about? Then it said that I threatened him with physical violence. That's all types of nonsense in this restraining order. So, like, at this point, I feel like dude is like a raging rainbow person. Like, he is just angry that he's rainbow, and he is liable to bring harm to myself, my child, and the people around me. So I went to the police station and I filed my own restraining order because, like, you're unhinged, bro. And it's clear you don't give a fuck about me. You don't give a fuck about my kid. So yeah, for right now, the saga's on pause. I'm still pregnant. I'm still taking care of myself, awaiting the arrival of my child. We are still legally married. I am waiting on that because, sir, I don't know if you noticed, but your ass going on child support. Because there's no way, like, you're not. And I don't want any questions about paternity if I get a divorce right now. So I'm not getting a divorce right now. And that's just that on that. But yeah. Y'all be...
Jersey. She really went to jail like a couple weeks ago. That's wild. What it do, everyday people, man? We all went for that ride, okay? That was insane. Now, I'm not going to blame this woman. So the picture in the thumbnail is actually James, okay? James actually entered the chat. It's on some other videos. I want y'all to go check out Official Zen Jin on TikTok. Official Zen Jin. And you can actually find that and others in the description. Like, it's hashtag Jennifer Charles, hashtag Official Zen Jin. Y'all can see what she's talking about, James, or how James got into the chat or whatever. And, you know, he's out there. Okay. So yeah, man, shout out to her for taking accountability for dodging every red flag like it was dodgeball. Like, if it was a dodgeball for red flags, she was like champion. She like still them. She to this day she still don't believe he gay. She still, are you gay? She asks it. Yo, I think the shitty draws was enough. TNT, what's up, TNT? What up, T6? Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I appreciate y'all. I seen Anti-Hyena and her husband in the chat, man. Those are my squad. But shout out to all the everyday people, man. This has been wild. Y'all keeping it lit. I'm trying not to look and laugh at the comments because, man, I won't even pay attention to what's going on. Y'all know how we come. We act a fool up in this thing. But shout out to Jennifer, man. She pregnant right now, in jail, with an open case looking ass. This nigga gay and sent his baby mama to jail. Ooh, he a mean one. Like, having all that sass and they, boy, I ain't about to bring this person up. Yeah, she need to get some help and healing. Shout out to her, man. Prayers, man, because this is gonna be a long road. This is just the beginning, and she already going at the mama who basically known her all her life. Like, it was like they really was to get, like, it was a good family ordeal, but she kind of dodged all the gay situations. Like, and then, like, he stunk. Like, yo, man, come on, man. You know, It's like she was having sex with this guy while he was stinking like that. She put up with some bull crap. Like, you know what I'm saying? She put up with a lot. I mean, bro, in Jersey, the dating pool has to suck. It has to be so bad that you wife, because she wifing this dude, a gay man. She not a bad looking person, but for you not to get nobody, that you have to date a gay dude is crazy. And this, man, it ain't even her fault. I mean, well, that's her fault. But like, dude wanting to have a baby with her, that ain't even for her. I mean, that ain't even because he wanted to have a baby. He just wanted some lineage. He probably wanted that for his mama. His mama knew. She telling him the whole time, like, girl, this nigga gay. Like, I know my son. And he a crackhead. Shout out to Ron Law. And he a crackhead. Like, come on, man. You gotta have one hell of a heart to love a crackhead, gay, then an alcoholic. Then he turned out to be all three in one time, locking your ass up. Like, Manifest Reality says, it's a major amount of decent men out here. It just takes time. She is 37 years old. How much time do y'all need to find a decent man? He can find so many men on Tinder. I bet you, or Grinder or whatever. He finding more men than her. Okay? She need to get on Grinder. You okay? Like, what is the deal? Like, man. See, this is why y'all need to just get in poly relationships. Find one good man, you and a couple good women. Find one good man, and y'all just be in a poly relationship. Because look at the dating pool out here. It's trash. Sorry. Like, more for me, looking ass. I put up a post earlier today. Yeah, this is all jokes. All jokes aside. But I put up a post. It says, besides me messing with other women, I'm actually a good man. Look at it. It's fitting for this story, okay? That's what y'all need, man. Y'all sometimes I see why women put up with cheating. Because the dating pool is trash. The dating pool is trash. T6, tell us about some I'm gonna go ahead and I need to go ahead and I gotta copy that. We about to have a call in. Okay. Let's do a call in. So let me go to this video where.
Okay, y'all.
All right. All right.
He's such a mystery.
Y'all know this video from earlier. Oh no, not that one.
He's such.
This is the one we came to.
Now let's get into it. Y'all see I got my shit in the back seat, right?
My name is Blue. I'm coming on here to address the situation with Infinity and just kind of respond back to that. She went online, she started posting videos with a lot of misleading information. So I'm finna just go ahead and clear things up for everybody. I've been told that I need to tell my side of the story. Other people know that it's a lot of false information being spread on the internet. So I'm gonna go ahead and just fact check everything with messages, screenshots, receipts, everything right here.
All right.
She moved in after the first, and my rent had already been paid for the month. So the whole time she over here trying to trip about money, my rent had already been paid for the month. She moved in after, and she left literally before the first. So previously online, she posted all these videos.
All right.
Hello?
Hey, what up? This is PJ. How you doing?
Hey, PJ. I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing good. So, everybody, we got YG Blue. You go. What do you? It's YG Blue on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah. Mhm.
Let me pull up your Instagram, and I'm gonna put it on the screen because. So y'all go follow YG Blue on Instagram. She is the person who is in this situation, this crazy situation where she invited Infinity the Queen to come stay with her because Infinity the Queen was moving to Atlanta, and a whole situation happened. So tell us a little bit about yourself and like your background and what you do in Atlanta, and then we're gonna get into how you met Infinity and all that good stuff.
Okay. So I'm from Bradenton, Manatee County, in Florida. That's like 45, 50 minutes from Tampa, not too far from Clearwater, almost like the Bay Area. And I make music. I've actually been writing since I was 15, but I didn't really start recording myself until summer 2023. Then last year in 2024, I started just really taking it more full time, doing more networking. Then some of my songs started getting played in Tampa. I had released an album called One Session, but it was really just to get the sound out there so people really knew what my music was like, because people were asking for it to be released. But when I started getting more serious inquiries on my music, that's when I took most of it down so that way I can really like take this music shit more serious. I started getting into different rooms. I had the opportunity to come to Atlanta over the summer. I got to go to some bigger recording studios out here. Um, I got to go to a record label out here. I got to do some work with Hive Youngin over the summer. It was really cool. We did a lot. I have a lot of footage from that. I posted some of that, but yep. Then in August, I was like, fuck it. I'm going all the way for me now. I got to put me first. So then that's when I just took the opportunity. I grabbed all my music from my home studio, and I came up to the A. Ever since then, I touched back base with people that I previously networked with. Started getting more in tune with the things that I'm good at, like media production. I got an internship out here. Just started doing different things, going to different shows. I do have a song that was pushed by Empire with Smiles Official down in Miami. We performed that at a sold-out show in September. After that, I started just getting hit back more for music stuff, and things just kind of been going up from there. And then earlier this year, I had got reached out to by someone in California, and they had reached out to me. They were saying that they had my music, and then they were asking me, hey, let me do a project for your graphic design. Do you know what you want to do? I said, well, I have a podcast, Blue Room ATL. And I wanted my logo to be so specific to me, you don't understand. I told them make sure I'm in the studio, got my hoodie on. It's very personable to me because I'm a very chill person. So I want you to really get that chill vibe when you see my stuff. And that's when I got my stuff. And ever since then, I just kind of been planning I came out here and I just made it happen for real. So
Okay, that's what's up. So you got the Blue Room, which is it's a podcast.
yes.
Where can we listen to the Blue Room at?
So I actually just launched it. If you look down on my Instagram, you'll see that I think it was maybe either last week or maybe the week before. Like I just painted the space. Like I just
Mm-hmm.
did everything. Like everything happened within these last couple weeks. So um the other week I woke up 6 o'clock in the morning. I've been talking about this plan for months. Like I've talked to industry people, people down at DGB. Yeah, that first video right there is like a tour. And then if you see the one under, you'll see people, those people that she was referring to in those messages. That was just some footage from one of my sessions recording in here.
Okay.
Mhm.
So so you had these plans going on. You have this career that you're pursuing, and you're buzzing and you're getting things going. And um, did you know Infinity from Florida or?
Yeah, we're from so she's from Sarasota, I'm from Bradenton. We ended up getting in contact just really through music. The first time I ever heard of Infinity, that was when I started originally like putting my music out there. And somebody was like, yeah, there's another female artist around the city. Her name's Infinity. It was cool. I really can't remember how we touched base, but it was like the first time I had talked to her. We had like a FaceTime call. It was cool, kind of getting to know each other. And she had gave me some good advice. Like I said, I had pushed my music before just to really get the sound out there. It wasn't really like industry music type deal. She had been doing music longer than me, recording wise and things like that. So, um, we just chopped it up, and she was like, just the quality of your music. Like your music is really good. It's just the quality, and not like the quality of it's better, but it was just something like that. And then we spoke again. She invited me to some club event. We went. I showed support. I took my best friend Soraya with me, and we went, to go check it out. And we slid, but it wasn't nothing like too crazy. But we did speak about collaborating to bring our two beefing cities kind of together in a way. We thought it would be good to collaborate and try to make something good out of it, and try to show them that we can work together and make things happen. So we did, speak up on it. We touched bases here and there. Now, what really made her more like more active, I guess, or around more of topics of conversation. Um she went to go perform on the debut, and I was with them that night. I was back there with Poison Ivy, the team, things like that, and I walked out the room because they were going to start performing, and that's when I seen that she was there to perform, and that's when things just okay. I have more contact with her. She's speaking now, things like that. She told me she was gonna come to Atlanta, things like that. I supported her. I was rooting for her. Took videos of her. Took pictures of her that night. And yeah,
It
later
was
on
just
that night, yeah, it was yeah. I just supported it. It was cool. But later on that night, I brought her over to the studio I was at, and we recorded Coroner. She went on TikTok, tried to say I was begging her to be on that song, and that shit is crazy to me. That shit is crazy to me. I ain't begged her to be on no song. She came and she recorded it at the studio that I was at, and with my producer that I was working with, we recorded her that night. And she told me she wanted to do a song, and she gave me an option. She played two songs, and I literally chose Coroner because that was one of the better songs. So I never begged to be on nothing like that.
mm, yeah. Well, that's yeah. So pretty much y'all linked up through music is what I kind of got from the story before, but there was a vague way of how y'all met. She just basically said y'all was friends, and so now looking at more into it and hearing your side, y'all was basically up and coming artists. So I know in Atlanta, a lot of people like to collab and stuff like that, and even it doesn't matter what level they on. I seen a lot of up and coming rappers get with big rappers, and um, I don't know how it is in Florida, but do y'all have like that crab in the barrel type mentality where it's like y'all didn't want it's like y'all didn't want to help each other up unless it was beneficial, like, or do you think y'all should have just been really grinding out together because y'all was both like, I mean, up and coming artists or whatever?
Just I don't know, just to kind of keep it short, sweet, and simple. Hopefully, it's just like I just seen that she just kept asking me to be on her project. I didn't really ask her to be too much on mine. She got her own agenda. I had mine, but I just kind of wanted to steer away from it because it was too much. All right, Blue, you gonna do this for me? Hey, Blue, can you edit this? Hey, Blue. Matter of fact, if you're gonna be too busy, just send it to me and I'll edit things myself. Or come to this studio, 1 hour session. I had no problem with that. But then, like, you're telling me you're trying to do all these songs, and then you're asking me why I'm not putting you on songs and things like that. Like, I get it. And then she said she wanted to do an EP. I wasn't necessarily opposed to it, but then it was just too much of what can I do for her, which kind of just steered me away from it.
Yeah. So before the TikTok video went up, I mean, because we've pretty much seen the situation. We don't really have to go too much into that. But did you feel like it was like not going well, and you was like, man, this might have been a bad idea?
Of course I'm thinking this is a bad idea. I'm done with that shit. I'm just kind of leaving it where it is now. Like, that shit kind of, that shit's so played. I'm really just aggravated because I literally sat down with this girl and asked her, how is Atlanta treating you? How are things? And then you told me you had this apartment, you're leaving on the 6th. That's what's aggravating about it. And then the next morning you go to flipping out about a loan and you don't have the money, and then you go on TikTok and you do that. I was literally in the grocery store with my friend Sherry shopping for fruits when I got the tag to my phone and I seen the video. Literally.
Yeah, so watching your video and listening to, how you were basically explaining things, it kind of made sense. So you really put it all together and into perspective. I thought you was being a very good friend. Even like a lot of people when they looking down on you, they don't want to see you, like they see you maybe in a bad spot and they don't really care. But for you to like say, man, I know she probably stressed out because she can't get the money at this day and she gonna have to wait. So you wanted to pull her to the side and not even in front of everybody to,
It had nothing like I had told her. Like, I had texted her in a message where I said, like, I understand what it's like trying to move to a new area and get yourself together. I was already gonna have my rent money. That's why I'm just not understanding what this whole thing was. Like, I literally texted her last week. I said, "Are you gonna have the rent money by Wednesday?" She said, "No, I'm not paying that shit late." So I already had it. So when I talked to her, it was after that conversation, and I literally just asked her, "How's Atlanta treating you? Is there anything you want to talk about?" She told me everything was good. I said, "You sure?" You know what I'm saying? Like, just wanting to be more personal because she had somebody else with her. She might not tell me everything if another girl in the room. So that's why I told Christian, let me talk to her by herself. It was really just to see where she was at. She already told me the rent money was going to be late. At that point, it had nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? What's going on?
Yeah. So it's terrible that you had to go through that little situation, and again, when you come with,
I just think it's childish.
yeah, especially when it could have been handled with a conversation, and
A conversation that I already tried to have with her. So that's why I don't really care too much about it, to be honest. I'm just aggravated about the threats that I've been getting, the trolling I have been getting, the phone calls, Like my VA representative called me today. It was just too many people called me. The Chevron lady, like it was just. I was like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, the Chevron was. I didn't really get it, but I kind of get it. Like she was working there for selling breakfast out or cooking breakfast out of
Bro, she
there.
ain't even work there. I got her deal. She ain't even start working there. She didn't even start. So that had nothing to do with me. She fucked that up on her own. So I
Was
don't
she
even really
steal the
give a fuck
pots
about
and
the Chevron
pans?
shit.
Sound like she stole the pots and pans or something. My stuff is missing. I was like, I didn't get it, but
She was stealing something. I don't know. That really don't have nothing to do with me. But at the end of the day, it's like I go to the Chevron all the time. You're not finna sit here and try this lady and try to say that she tried to take advantage of you, but that's what you did. You need to protect this lady at all costs. This lady did nothing but try to help her out.
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, well, shout out to you, man. Y'all could check out uh, YG Blue on Instagram. Do you have a TikTok? Because you said that wasn't your
I
TikTok.
got banned from
You
TikTok.
got
Like when I
banned.
posted my response video, I literally got banned.
Damn. Yeah, we're gonna have to get you another TikTok. I hated getting banned because you get it be your main email, and then you gotta create a whole separate one just for that. It sucks.
And it really just don't even bother me because I'm not really a big TikToker. If I'm being honest, there was really nothing on it but videos I had like saved, like funny videos and stuff. So like I personally just don't care about it. It's just the fact I got banned when I was trying to defend myself. I got
Yeah,
blocked when I was trying to defend myself, and I'm just thankful that that page, I guess, saved my videos or whatever, and you know they
yeah,
reposted it for me. So I'm just thankful for that.
yeah. Cause that's
Because
how
not
I got the
everybody
story.
not everybody has my Facebook. So it's kind of hard to try to defend yourself when somebody's literally blowing up off of you, bashing you on the internet, you know what I'm saying? Not really giving a fuck about nothing. You're literally telling people to troll me, call my job, try to get me fired. This is
No, that's
lame.
crazy. Yeah. So where can we follow you to hear your music? You got a YouTube channel. Um,
I'm actually finna be dropping music sometime in January. I was actually gonna post snippets. I'll just be having performances pretty much. Um, but like I said, I had took my music down, so pretty much my following has already heard what I got for the most part, or there are people that have showed up to shows that I've been in. So I actually have music that's gonna be released tomorrow morning in
oh, okay.
response to that weak ass diss. But yeah, I'll be dropping music in January.
Yeah, send me that. I'll play it on one of my lives. Or not one of my. I'll put it in one of my
If you ever
videos.
state why she told her. I ain't never tell her a different cost for the rent. Just that's just in response to somebody in these comments. I actually sent her my lease and she blocked me after that. And then I had to post my shit on Facebook, but respectively it's like my son's name is on there. My personal information is on like I didn't want to put that out there. We're talking about a 3-year-old. I have a 3-year-old. So
Yeah.
I'm not doing all that. But I did post what I needed to. And then I sent her the lease, literally in her DMs. Like, why are you doing this? And then she blocked me. And then she just keep taking it up there. She could have dropped that one little video and left it at that. But now she's taking it to more and more and more and more and more. I'm not doing all of that. I'm not finna do all of that. You're actually crazy.
Yeah, when people do that, it brings more attention to you, regardless. Either
She just
way.
looked like a bully, bruh. She just
Yeah.
looked like a bully. She could have handled all this in a conversation. I'm not finna deal with that. This is childish and it's a waste of time. I shouldn't even be talking about this.
Yeah.
But I
Well,
appreciate the support and the people, that understanding and things like that, and the people that didn't troll me, the people that didn't send me threats. Appreciate y'all.
yeah. Well, when you do good things I think people will see through it, and some people just don't give a shit. You know what I mean? They just gonna be trolls either way it go. So, and that as you get larger, you're gonna see more and more. And it sucks that you have to go through this, but
I
sometimes these are
just
growing pains.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not really tripping about it. I just want the trolling to stop. I want the threats to stop. Like, I really didn't take no loss in this. If I'm just being honest, I tried to talk to this girl. I talked to Sasha. I talked to Christian, these girls that she's dealing with. And she said that Infinity didn't want to talk. So if you don't want to talk after you publicly humiliated me on TikTok, I'm not going to chase you. But you're continuously trying to harass me behind pages that you got me blocked. So I'm just, it is what it is. It just looks bad on her part. My life still goes on.
Yeah. Yeah, well, much success to you. I'm definitely going to be checking out the Blue Room. I'm following you. Y'all make sure y'all go follow her on Instagram. That's YG Blue with two U's and an underscore.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like to show my appreciation to some creators, especially when they're in a situation and I cover them and they willing to speak out. Hey, if you're doing something, I show it. You know what I'm saying? You got something to show, I show it. I'll put you out there because I do have a large platform and it's full of more women who interested in hearing more, seeing more. So, I hope you gain a lot of love and support from the everyday people.
I
So
really appreciate it.
you welcome. You welcome. It is no thing. So yeah, everyday people, man. Thank you all. Thank you, YG Blue, and man, y'all have a wonderful night. And YG Blue, I will be talking to you later. And
For sure, for sure.
everyday people.